Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick video about a lens that I just received for review from Sony, and this is their widest angle zoom lens that they have. It's the 12 to 24G, fairly expensive. However, again, the widest full frame G series lens that Sony makes, and this is a native E-mount lens. Again, f4 across the 12 to 24 range. Now, previously, the Zeiss 16 to 35 f4 has always been a favorite of mine. Compact, really nice in terms of build quality, optical quality, just a overall winner in my opinion when it comes to performance. So really nothing to dislike about the Zeiss f4. Again, it's a Sony Zeiss, which you can call it a Zony or I don't know what nicknames they've come out with, but we've moved away, or Sony's moved away from, branding Zeiss lenses anymore. And so here with this G series 12 to 24, ever since it launched, I was very curious about its performance. And that's why I said to Sony, hey, I know it's not a new lens, but if you can send it over, I mean, this is looking kind of beat, but if you can send it over, I want to review it. I especially want to get this thing on the A7R Mark IV, also, of course, the A7R III, even the A7R II that I have, and see what results look like. See how much information this thing can gather. For those of you that are unaware, it has its own custom lens cap, unlike other lenses out there, and that's simply just because of the front element and the hood actually being built on. So, an interesting lens. I'm excited to put it to use. Traditionally, again, my wide-angle shots are coming off that Zeiss 16 to 35, which, when you look at them side by side, I mean, they just, they look like completely different animals, and that's because they are. Even though they're both f4, even though they have similar ranges, I mean, 12 is really going to give you as wide, at least a native Sony lens can provide. And had I had this when I traveled to Europe last year, I'm sure I would have got some shots that I wish I would have gotten, because if at 12 millimeters this thing is solid, which from what I've seen it is, then if you're into landscape, architecture, any type of shot where you want to get the big picture, so to speak, this is the way you're going to squeeze it in. And just excited. I think the lens retails for around $1,700. So it does outprice the 16 to 35. So at this point in the existence of these two lenses, the 16 to 35 is the more budget friendly. But bear in mind that even though it's more budget friendly, it doesn't mean that it's worse or better. I'm going to test them. I'm going to let you know my impressions. The other wide angle lens that I tend to use is this little baby, which of course is not full frame, and that's the good old APS-C E-mount f4 10 to 18. Now that's a 35 millimeter equivalent of 10 to 18 and f4, but so compact, I mean, you can't even begin to compare this. The cool thing though about the 10 to 14 is not only that it's so inexpensive, lightweight, and compact, but it will work in full frame. In fact, I'm pretty sure I was one of the first videos on YouTube to even discuss the fact that it functioned in full frame back in what was it, 13? Wow, a long time ago. At any rate, still a great lens, but excited again to share this with you. I mean, it does have the autofocus, manual focus switch, and of course, a lock button to hold focus. Just a really nice lens that I have high expectations for, and who knows, it may become a new favorite of mine and replace my Zeiss or Sony 16 to 35 f4 in my lineup. And then theoretically, I would be traveling just with these two guys, or gals, or whatever you want to call them. I really shouldn't be assigning sex to lenses, right? These two lenses as my go-to setup, because here I've got my telephoto with power zoom and fidelity that I think is completely underrated. All the people who kind of crap on this lens, I think, really didn't spend too much time with it, or they are f7 owners who got it as a kit lens and aspired to more, and I get that. But for someone who wants to do hybrid shooting with A-series full-frame cameras and get fantastic still in videos, I really think the PZ28 to 135 is a killer lens. Then combine it with this for the shots I simply cannot achieve with that big boy. I made it a boy again, sorry. With that big lens, it seems like it could be a winner combo. And that's what I generally do really enjoy traveling with, is this lens and then the 28-135 power zoom. So we're going to see if this is able to knock the 16-35 off the block. It may. I've really only read and seen good stuff. So I will, of course, update all of you, but this just arrived. Wanted to share it. Definitely looks like it's got some mileage on it, but of course, I will treat it with care. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button. And as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.